trees.
Basically had a 5.5 hour drive from Albuquerque to Arizona, where we're going to be at the next track, and it's almost to Tucson, but it's not Tucson yet, but it's before Tucson. So 5.5 hour drive is like 350 miles, and we only have about 60 miles left in like 50 minutes, I think, is kind of where we're at. So we're actually leading the pack right now. We're out front. We left before everybody else. I think Luke and Adam are actually pretty close behind us because they cruise pretty fast. We got an average of 15 miles a gallon. I've been driving basically this whole time, and now you get to the point where you're bored, so now you just want to eat. You just want to eat random stuff. So we're gonna have some chips. And yeah, the scenery down here is interesting. It's like just plains and then just like mountains and kind of mountains, and then it's interesting. The diff feels not bad today. So initially, I think why we thought the diff was like so bad is because of the tires that we had on the car. They were kind of flat spotted from drifting them at Harris Hill, and then we drove on them basically all the way to Albuquerque. So we have new tires on the back right now, and they're not quite balanced, so I think that's a little bit of it. But we actually found a differential in Phoenix, Arizona from a junkyard that's out of a GT, and it's a steel case, or the cast iron case. So I guess those ones are a little bit stronger, has a little bit better gear ratios, and basically paid for that. And one of you guys, a subscriber, is actually picking it up and driving it down to us, which is really sweet. So we'll probably meet up with him in a little bit and kind of show that whole process. But yeah, we're probably drive on this one a little bit tomorrow, see how it feels, and I guess go from there. But literally, the car's been freaking killing it. So right now, the whole trip, we've done 36 hours and 50 minutes of like run time on the car, and that's driving at the tracks, driving in between. I don't even know how many miles it's been so far, but the whole, oh, look at this guy, he was coming over. But I mean, everything's been super smooth so far. It's a little loud in here, so we just freaking bump the stereo and take naps. That's about it. Hey guys, welcome to day, what is it? Yesterday was day 4 because we drove. Today's day 5, and we're actually driving Inde Motorsports Ranch in close to Wilcox, Arizona. So I chained everything up last night. Everything's okay. And about 11 o'clock at night, one of you guys, a subscriber, actually brought a differential from me from a junkyard. So check this out. So this is a 355 gear out of a GT with the steel housing, because mine has the aluminum housing, and I guess it's the one that breaks. So I'll put his Instagram handle down here on the bottom, but I really appreciate him actually bringing this thing, basically driving it all the way from Phoenix, which I think is about 2.5 to 3 hours. But yeah, it gives me the confidence today to not have to worry about my differential. We're gonna go ahead and start this thing up, get a little bit of a cold start. We got that, look at this. She's chilly. So hand me the camera for the cold start. What's up?
I think you brought the wrong car.
Why?
This looks like a GT3 place.
What do you mean?
I mean, there's all kinds of Porsche boys.
I'll lap those Porsches. My security device worked on myself, I guess.
Yeah, how does that feel? Oh my god, I didn't realize it went down to the cord. Dude, I was waving and flashing my brights.
I was just cruising. I was like, man,
I just don't have a horn. So
it feels really
like
weird.
luggy.
Right
He was
now.
like,
It was like, rah, rah, rah. I was like, that's kind of weird right now. And then like, I was like, no.
Sometimes you gotta goof something up, right?
Sometimes you gotta goof.
I got the old 12s.
Yeah.
pull out the 12. So
Yeah, I guess.
out to Inde Motorsports Ranch. This is their brand new skid pad that they just poured, and it's beautiful. I mean, this asphalt is super smooth and nice. It's got some nice drainage. I guess all the water drains over there, and so this thing doesn't have like standing water on it. Dan Brockett, he actually got his S13 out. It's LS powered because he blew up his VQ powered, basically stock 350Z at the last track at Sandia. It's got Matt Field in his Corvette. We got Luke Fink in the G35. Brandon Wicknick towing a trailer. Got everybody out here kind of getting set up, ready to go. I need to swap the tires on the front of my car real quick. We just went ahead and pulled out the thing. Ty's using some of that Wrap Fresh, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, we got some tire slap and stuff here that's gonna need some good scrubbing, but it works pretty good to get all the dirt and grime from the road trip.
Yeah, this thing's really dirty. So cleaning that up. We got the diff from out of the trunk. Got all our crap kind of out of the car, ready to go. So we're gonna play around here on the skid pad for a little bit, and they have an absolutely like insane road course that's like it's probably too nice for drifters, but we have some sessions out there after 1 o'clock. So we're gonna play around out here for a little bit, and it's crazy because like we were rolling through and there's like Porsche like Cayenne, like turbos towing like flat trailers with like Porsche like 911s on them and stuff. Super sick. And there's like Ferrari trailers and a bunch of really cool stuff over there, some planes. We'll show you guys that in a little bit, but for now I want to get out on here, do a couple little laps, playing around with everybody. So the Mustang actually feels really good today. So what we did is we lowered the tire pressure to like 15 pounds this morning and softened it way up. And this skid pad is like brand new, so it's not like it's where it's a cheese grater. We have like a bunch of pointy rocks sticking up, so you don't have as much like contact patch. It's just like really flat, and I feel like there's just way more grip here. The car feels really good.
Well, we bumped pressure down to 15, then they went up to 25, and we bumped them up to 32.
Yeah, so they like got hot and went up to like 25, and then we actually aired them back up to like 32 just because I felt like I had a little too much grip for this track. Just in the second gear, because when I'm drifting, it's like 5,000 RPMs. Like when I'm behind
Which is like
people.
where we want to be, just chilling.
Well, not really. I would rather be closer to limiter, so it's like a little bit more free flowing because it'll like kind of bog a little bit. But good thing that we got that Garrett 3076 on there. That thing freaking stays lit. It's kind of like a V8.
And then so tires, you can look at this. I mean, you guys can see. I'll try and get out of the shadow, but
So
these are
probably what, like 20 laps?
20 laps. So
Or
on
more?
a Valino, it's a 265. What, 200 tread wear?
And so this one is actually doing, I think these are 3 or 380.
Yeah, so on the
So this
Valinos.
one looks great, and then you look at this one, and it literally just chunked like crazy. Look at that. Like all the way, like just literally chunks of rubber just ripped off it. And that's just from getting it so hot. When you get, especially with, I was talking to Aaron, he was saying that when you have such a heavy car like this Mustang, it hurts the tires so much, and that's why it's chunking like that. So especially the back-to-back runs, and I was left foot braking a lot to try to keep it, you know, kind of sideways. So I think that, I don't know. So, a little bit of bad news. It sounds like it's misfiring. It's when we were going around the corner, in third gear was just such a high load, just like you could almost feel it. I don't know if it was like spark blowout or like if the fuel slosh and it was going lean or something like that. It was just really hard to tell because I wasn't able to see the actual air fuels. Revved it up a couple times after that. It felt smooth. We pulled it back in, and it was just like you hear now. I don't know if you can hear that. It's not like breathing. Like it's not like puffing smoke like if it popped a ringland or something. So maybe
guys will blow by.
Yeah, it doesn't have any blow by or anything like that. So maybe it's just like a coil pack, or maybe a spark plug thing came loose, or maybe the plugs are kind of dirty or something. But I'm gonna pull the coil cover off and then see what it looks like under there, and look at all those plugs and stuff and go from there. All right, so I think we figured out the issue. I think it's too much boost on pump gas, I think is what it is. So I think we caught it in time though. Maybe hopefully if we put this thing back in there and she runs smooth, and we should.
The rest are.
Yeah, the rest are all good. That's the last one, which is number 7. Maybe I could go into ECU Master and put some, or number 6. Maybe I could go add like 10% more fuel to like number 6, just so it has a little bit more, you know? Just because maybe that one's getting the least amount of boost, but or maybe it's getting the most amount of boost, something like that. All right, so just putting everything back together. I hope that is all that was, and then we got lucky and just burnt the spark plug. We've had some really crappy gas on this trip too. Like at one point there was 86, that was the only thing available to pump, and then we filled up twice with 90 pump gas, like 90 octane, and I think we're closer to sea level. I don't know what the elevation here is, and what is it?
I mean, we're in the mountains a little bit, but I think we're not.
So I'm kind of sketched out. Yeah. I'm gonna be super freaking bummed, but that sounds nice. I'm pretty sure I plugged everything back in. So we replaced the spark plug and started up. It didn't want to start up. Maybe I think it was flooded because I cranked it a couple times. So I think it was actually flooded, but.
Still kind of like.
Oh yeah, it's still's got a mist to it. I mean, unless like an injector got dirty or something, but I want a compression tester.
So, trying to find a compression tester. It's still sounding a little off.
Unless it's an injector or something, but I just think with the amount of load that was on it and doing that stuff, and it eating the plug like that, maybe it either melted a piston, or maybe that little chunk of the spark plug got in between like the valve seat or something, and it's keeping the valve open or something, because that's an option too. Yeah. It's just really hard to say without a compression tester. I was literally gonna bring a compression tester. I was like, oh, I ain't gonna need it, but then here we are. We need it. So I mean, worst case scenario, the engine's bad. We could find a block, and there's a shop that a guy has here. We could limp it there. I mean, it runs decent on 5 cylinders. I think it's not zero compression, but I think we could limp it to the shop for sure. And we have tomorrow basically all day, and then the next day we could potentially swap an engine or find an engine in Phoenix and get it transported down here. But I mean, that would suck, but I don't want to miss Drift Week, you know? Can't basically say anything or diagnose anything or figure anything else out until we know whether it's compression or if we do like a leak down test. So we already asked Whitnick. I thought he was number 1 to have a compression tester, but we're gonna ask the second person that's the most likely to have it.
I went over and I'm just like, oh wait,
Dan,
that's not how you would think that flows.
Do you have a compression tester?
That's not a good thing to ask.
No, it's not. But if anybody has one,
Ouch.
That's
1973 Sears.
Woo!
That's not ideal.
Zero.
Zero.
None. Unless you didn't tighten it all the way.
Well, We'll test another one.
We'll test it.
Could just be the tool.
No, I mean, it had like 15. But that also means that it could be like a leak down issue.
Could be a valve.
Because like it's not venting like it's a compression issue. It's like, and the way it sounds, it almost sounds like it could be like a valve issue. So I wonder if like that chunk off the spark plug got like stuck in the valve seat and is like keeping it open. Maybe it just needs drifted.
That could be a thing. That could also not be a thing.
You get the old Luke Fink fix.
All right, well let's see what this one looks like.
Yeah.
That one works.
145.
Wait, is cylinder 6 low?
Yeah.
This is the first JZ you've ever heard, isn't it?
And this is my first JZ.
That's good.
This is my baby JZ. This was the first one that was in my drift car for like 4 years.
Dang.
Well, you did try to run like 25 or 27 pounds of boost through it.
On pump gas.
On
Pump
90.
gas on 90.
We went to the auto parts store and got a basically compression leak down tester. It doesn't really work that well. It doesn't have the right fitting right here on the adapter. But basically what we did is we put the back cylinder to top dead center. Basically with a screwdriver, you make sure it goes all the way to the top and doesn't go back down. And then basically put that in there. You take out the valve stem, the valve cord for sure, or else it isn't going to pressurize the cylinder. Pressurize the cylinder, and then here where the leak comes from. So there's a little bit going through the intake, and then there was a lot actually going through the exhaust. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, tons of it going out the exhaust on this side.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say that's better than like cracking a reland on a piston or something. We are going to a shop tonight. That's going to be the next destination, and he says he has tools and lifts and all that type of stuff, and I think I could pull the head off of here. I talked to a machine shop in Phoenix, and he said he could get valves on Monday just in case that is the situation. So I guess worst case scenario, we could take this thing apart at the shop tonight. I think we could probably still drive it.
Yeah, you drive on 5.
So I mean, especially since it's not blowing out a bunch of compression. There's not a bunch of crankcase vapor. Like when it's running, if I would have cracked a ringland or a piston or something, it would have been like like out of the breather or out of the valve cover, whereas smoking or something like that. Whereas right now it's just kind of low compression because it's just blowing out. So I don't think we're gonna hurt it. I mean, it's not gonna be great for it, but I think
we'll just turn the injector off.
Or turn it, like give it 20% fuel on that thing since it has like no compression. The other thing I want to do is I don't know if it would have bent a valve or if maybe that piece of the spark plug, if you guys didn't see a spark plug earlier, if that piece of the spark plug maybe like got stuck in between it. So I kind of almost want to rotate it a little bit or like let it do that when it's blowing air to see if maybe it'll.
Well, then you're gonna push it into the.
I mean, I kind of don't care where it goes. I'd rather just get out of there. Hopefully it goes out of the exhaust and then it should fit through the turbine wheel and then be okay. All right, so we decided to head towards Tucson and basically try to figure out what is wrong with my car tonight. But we're not actually the only ones who had issues.
No, I'm just kidding. It's pretty.
Yeah, who are we kidding here?
We got Mesker. Mesker, what'd you do?
I hit Luke going way too fast.
Yeah. We got the PVM expert over here.
Yeah.
Gonna fix the PVM, yeah?
Yeah, we'll get her fixed.
So,
have a hammer.
Mesker's car is on the lift because I guess he hit Luke. Otherwise, he would have been probably the only one to not have any issues today.
Yeah, if I wouldn't have been an idiot, I wouldn't have broke. But your boy got a little too excited, and yeah.
You did it. You done goofed, but
Done goofed.
At least Matt's working on it.
Exactly. We're gonna get it enough to where I can limp it to California and then pick up new PBM arms.
You could probably even have them like overnight. Well,
Yeah.
it's Sunday tomorrow,
yeah.
so that's
Exactly.
the bad thing. So we're gonna hop on the road and head towards the next shop, and then I guess go from there. All right, guys. So we made it to a shop here in Tucson. A kind of a drift guy that we just met because of this whole Drift Week thing. Basically, he has a shop here. It's called Fine Art. They kind of play with cars on the side. They have some CNC machines, do a bunch of stuff like that to kind of pay the bills. A lot of that stuff is over there. But they kind of opened their doors to us, and we've had basically it's been an ongoing conversation throughout this whole trip. Basically with him in kind of the group chat, he's been helping set up tracks, basically letting us ship stuff to his shop. So we shipped a bunch of tires and stuff here. They got this really sick SR powered E30 over here, E30 convertible. This guy's gonna be hanging out with us on Monday. That thing makes like 480 horse on pump gas, which is crazy. But we have the JZ Mustang in here. We're gonna go ahead. We're letting it try to cool off a little bit because we did drive it here. It was about an hour. Seemed like it was doing all right. Obviously running on 5 cylinders, but we can't really get like any parts ordered or ask for help from anybody until we actually diagnose this thing. So that's gonna be the major thing. We want to get it apart and see. I cross my fingers it's exhaust valves and we're able to just kind of get some going. But yeah, I guess let's get this thing apart and see what we can figure out. All right, so we just did an actual leak down test with it, basically using this thing, and we even double checked because I've never actually used one of these things before. I've done the cheap way, which is just blasting it open and listening to where it works or where it blows out of. But we basically put 100 PSI in cylinder number 5, and it went to about 20% leak down. Whereas when we did it right here to this, or when we put it on the back one, it was like 100%, right?
Yeah.
It was basically at 100% leak down. It was just all blowing out the tailpipe. And so that should for sure hopefully be our problem. So I guess there's nothing really to do now other than take off the freaking head and see if we can find some exhaust valves. They have a bore scope. So I guess we'll give this a little check. I don't think we'll be able to see the so you could actually see some stuff in there. Or you could see the piston.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
Well, I'm just trying to see if there's any like a broken ringland or something. Kind of looks like that side of the piston's mad, but
Hit it anywhere, anything?
I guess we just got this thing out. I don't know how long we've been here, probably 3 hours. So we got the head off of this thing. There's a little bit of nicking on the back piston over here. You can see basically where the spark plug electrode or something went off, but we got the head right here. And look at that bad boy right there. I've never seen that before. And I guess that's what it means when you burn a valve. So we technically need one exhaust valve, the head. There's a little bit of gouging right there, but I don't think it's terrible.
I don't think it'll be enough.
And maybe just clean up the valve seats, like just Scotch-Brite that. Maybe run some like valve lapping compound in it. And then
The rest looks great though.
everything else looks okay. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna rotate the engine around real quick and see if we have any scoring in the cylinder wall. But the bad thing is right now it is Saturday night at like 10 o'clock. And there's no parts stores open. It's Sunday tomorrow. They typically don't get any deliveries. So if we're gonna put this thing back together, it's literally gonna have to be like somebody has 2J parts sitting in their garage. Or we might be able to like rob one. Like worst case scenario, reuse the head gasket, reuse the head bolts, and just a stock valve out of something. Just to get us going, but I would like to have, worst case scenario, stock valve, but like ARPs and like a new gasket. But I guess we need to rotate it real quick. We got, the ground is all slippery. But check this out. So there's very, 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 very minor scoring in there. Like not even like really to be concerned about, just because you can't feel anything with your fingernail at all. So I think worst case scenario, well, I already said stock valve, reuse the head gasket and head studs, get us on the road. Other than that, I feel like we kind of got lucky in this situation.
Oh, this is best case scenario in
I mean, Best case,
Out of what happened?
best case scenario would have been when we pulled the spark plug out and like the electrode was bad and we like just replaced it, which we did. That was like the first thing within 5 minutes.
Given we had like no compression in the cylinder, this is best case scenario. I think.
And also given the fact that we were so close to Tucson, we're so close to these guys' shop, and that they were literally like just willing to open their doors, and he was like, yeah, come use the lift, do whatever, swap the engine. Like we have a 2J on the stand over there. We have an engine hoist. So really appreciate these guys over here. I'll link their Instagram and stuff in the description of this thing. But for now, I think we pretty much, I need to edit this video and I need to order parts or figure out parts or make Instagram posts or whatever. So we're gonna try to get this video out as absolutely as fast as we can. So hopefully if one of you guys are around, we're trying to drive before Monday. So anything 2J related, basically 2J valve, ARP head studs, and head gasket in the Tucson area, Arizona area. We'll drive whatever, we'll rent a car. But that, I think, Ty, is that it for tonight?
It's 10 o'clock. Let's get some food, get some parts
I think this
going,
was a
and
3-hour thing. Maybe
from when we got here to
completely apart. So
and we didn't even do it the fastest way possible.
yeah,
Like,
we were trying to be nice, trying to keep the shop halfway tidy, borrowing as little tools as we could. But I mean, again, it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, I broke my car and we're having such a bad time. It's literally like we broke our car and we're fixing it. Should I get motivational? It's not the problems that happen that define everything. It's how you fix them. So, and again, like even just the shop, hanging out with these guys tonight, they're super cool cars. We made some new friends here tonight,
yeah.
And we're making some freaking memories. Like me and Ty were talking about it on the way down here. The memes where it's like, sit down, son, let me tell you about a good like
tell you these stories.
yeah, let me tell you this story about something. Like that's gonna be us talking about Drift Week, like literally the first Drift Week ever. So we're gonna get out of here, go eat some food. I really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys later.